People often ask about running Linux on a PowerPC system, so I decided to give it a try on this Apple iBook G4 and document my experiences so that I can share with everyone else. There are several flavors of Linux that support the PowerPC platform, such as Ubuntu, Yellow Dog, and Debian. I downloaded all three, but I only got around to trying Ubuntu. So I put in the DVD and held down the C key to boot from the CD. This is the first thing you'll see. Once the graphical screen came up, I clicked the install icon, and when it asked, I just told it to use the whole hard drive to make things easier. It took about 25 minutes to install. After it installed, there were about 100 updates that it needed to download. Upon rebooting, it looked just like any Ubuntu system running on any other PC. However, there are some things to mention. First of all, the wireless doesn't work. I read that there is a workaround that will get this going, but out of the box, it isn't going to work. I also noticed that Bluetooth doesn't work. Instead, I plugged in an Ethernet cable and had no trouble getting online. Firefox comes pre-installed and it seemed to run reasonably well. I tried several websites and the speed is pretty similar to working under Mac OS X. However, one of the first things you'll notice is that websites such as YouTube that depend on Adobe Flash do not work. That is because Adobe does not provide a binary for PowerPC Linux. However, I found a website with some test video in HTML5 and it worked just fine, so perhaps in the future when Flash goes away, this won't be a problem. Also pre-installed is OpenOffice, which seems to run reasonably fast and I didn't have any trouble with it. I tried playing a DVD movie, but I couldn't get that to work. In fact, I couldn't even open the drive to look at the files. On top of that, I couldn't even get it to eject until I realized that you have to hold down the FN key while hitting the eject button. I installed Vlc Player and it still couldn't play a DVD, but it had no problem playing movies that I had stored on my server. Speaking of servers, I was able to connect to my server, but you'll find that there's no Apple filing protocol, so the only way I could connect was through the Windows SMB file sharing. I was able to install my network printer with just a few mouse clicks and print a test page, although it came out in black and white instead of color, but I didn't look into it further. Okay, so in conclusion, if you happen to already have a G4 or other PowerPC computer and you want or need to run Linux on it, then, well, you can, and it will work. It's reasonably fast and stable, but there are some obvious drawbacks, such as lack of hardware support for some features, as well as Adobe Flash and some other types of precompiled binaries. However, on the other hand, if you need to run Linux and you're looking for a computer to run Linux on, I would actually recommend going with an Intel-based computer. Even if it's an Intel-based Mac, like a MacBook or something like that, then you're going to have a lot better support and I dare say probably even speed to run with.